All right, we're live. Hey everybody, welcome back to Hotlap with your handsome hosts Caleb and Tyler. We had a wild weekend, didn't we?
Dude, we this entire weekend at Mexico was just cinema, absolute cinema. It was just like I didn't predict where it was going, and yeah, it was just a toss up the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, turn one craziness, right? Because you had Lando straight out the gate, and then not even half a second later, you had Max and the two Ferraris pretty much up his ass, and they were all damn
Yeah,
near online with each other.
'cause you had like that super long straight before turn one actually like happened, and obviously everybody is punching it. Um, But as soon as we actually got to turn one, it just became a lawnmower simulator for some reason. Max went off the track. I like viscerally screamed when I saw him go off track. So I thought he was about to crash into a wall. And I think
Yeah.
I think it was Leclerc who went off track as well, like behind Norris. And then later on, we saw Hamilton go off track as well. So it was just like a fucking lawnmower fest. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was absolute like madness. And then because Verstappen kind of basically was just like, well, I'm just gonna completely miss Sector One entirely, and then rejoined
Yeah,
everybody.
he just decided to go on like his own little like side quest. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know like where that came from.
And the funniest thing is that they didn't even slap him with a penalty. But then again, Hamilton got a penalty a little bit later in the race.
I think like almost their way. Like they had their reasons obviously to do the virtual safety car, but I feel like it was also in part because they didn't give Max a penalty. They're like, this will even it out.
Yeah, I guess. But man, Max really clawed his way back that entire race, though. I mean, what he
Yeah,
ended up in
he
P3.
yeah, he ended up in P3, and if it wasn't for the VSC, he was gonna be P2. Definitely P2.
I,
Um VSC stopped him, but he qualified P5. Mid race when he pit for a new compound, he was like P8 or P9, and then he like just managed to claw his way all the way up to P3, almost P2. It was like insane to watch. It was
and I
so fun to
agree.
watch him just keep going.
I agree with the fact that that virtual safety car at the very end saved Leclerc from getting P3. I completely agree with that. I thought it was hilarious. and you we were on the phone call together, and I was like so anxious. I was like, what's happening? No, because I mean, Verstappen got up to less than half a second behind Leclerc, and then boom, Carlos Sainz like triggered the virtual safety car, and I
Yeah,
was just like,
Carlos Sainz Carlos Sainz's car was like falling apart the whole damn race. I don't know what the hell happened. We saw on the Williams Instagram, I sent this to you, but James Vowles was kind of explaining what went wrong with the car. They're the only team I've ever seen to like actually like walk you through everything that happened, which is really cool on their part. But I digress. Yeah, there was something wrong with the wheel sensors. Carlos got a pit limiter issue, like because the wheel sensors weren't reading his wheels. So he was speeding in the pit lane, and
twice.
not only that, yeah, twice he got a penalty for it. On top of the race prior, he had a five-place grid penalty as well, and then this happens. He has the drive-through penalty, and then to just icing on the fucking cake for this guy, his car literally like just combusts almost like and causes that VSC. And like I just don't think you could get a more unlucky weekend. Like that must have been awful for Carlos.
And it was just because I watched that too, and something about I don't know what triggered it, but something about like the vibrations of the car just made the speed sensors in the wheels just go kaput, and I was like, dang, like I didn't even, because me should have known, but I didn't know that there were actual speed sensors in the wheels, and because because the speed sensors were going kaput, he tried to use the limiter, and the limiter wasn't working because the speed sensors were malfunctioning. And so
Yeah.
that's what they kind of said, and I was like, man, that makes sense. But man, to have a virtual safety car at the very end of the race, oh
And
my
it lasted like a
gosh,
lap.
yeah. But there was
It was
only one lap
ridiculous.
left.
Yeah, so it was pointless. Like the whole thing was just pointless. Oh my god! And I know like the FIA came out and said they have their reasons because they have a fire notice or something. But come on, there's no need for it. But hey, you benefited from that. Leclerc benefited from that.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing I think is just really funny is just like there have been so many like goofy moments that have happened this past weekend. We had I've caught two separate fights that have happened in the grandstands. Two separate groups of people that have gotten into fights in Mexico. Apparently, this is like a regular thing from the comment section. I don't know why the Mexican people just want to break out into fights over there, but they do.
I
Um,
mean, they do it for football, they do it for F1, they do it for really any sport that they're passionate about. Because I've seen it happen. Like people will literally break. People will be at a football game and they will break into just fist fights.
that's crazy.
It is absolutely insane, and you could definitely find some on YouTube. You just look up people fist fighting at a soccer game or a football game, and yeah,
Yeah, that is crazy. That happened. We had two separate fights that I know about. There could have been more.
there probably was
Um,
more.
There probably was more. Two separate fights. Liam Lawson almost hit two marshals because they didn't communicate that.
I
Uh,
didn't see that on the race weekend, but I saw that today, and I was like,
yeah, I think I saw it after the fact, but when I saw it, I was like, dude, you're kidding.
yeah, it's because they told the marshals to go out at the wrong time to go pick up debris. And then Liam Lawson had to move out the way real quick so he didn't hit them. He even said it on the radio. He's like, I almost just killed somebody. Like,
Yeah, he was not happy about that. I wouldn't be either. That was
I was like, I wouldn't
very
be.
not. That was really not organized on their part. And then to top it all off, the people of Mexico City also booed across the whole weekend. They booed Lando Norris, which I find personally, I find that hilarious.
That was really funny. I'm not even gonna lie. That was hilarious. Boo! Because he's getting on
Even
the mic.
Lando thought it was funny.
Huh?
I said even Lando thought it was funny.
Yeah.
You're saying though?
I mean, at that point, what can you do, right? Like, because he got on the mic after post race, and he was like talking, and then all of a sudden you just hear boo from behind him, and he just starts kind of smiling. He's like, yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't stop laughing. I don't know why.
It was just I thought it was hilarious because it's you're starting to see that only the diehard Lando Norris fans actually like Lando Norris anymore. Everyone else is just like,
Dude, everybody hates this guy because of just like what's been happening. I mean, like in Mexico City, a lot of them were booing because of Monza, like the slow pit stop thing.
yeah,
Um, People are not happy about that, and I mean, like we've been talking about this every podcast, and it's like a broken record. And I almost don't want to talk about it, but we'll leave it brief. Is just like McLaren and Lando Norris favoritism. It's very evident that it's real, and you know. Zach Brown and Andrea Stella might like publicly say that there's no favoritism, but I mean, like we all know that that's a lie.
yeah.
You
There's
can't even
there's clear
try to hide it.
favoritism, clear
You
favoritism.
can't even try to hide it at this point. And I think the boos are very telling about just what the general consensus is on the whole McLaren situation. So, yeah.
And like, and even Piastri this race, like he just did not have a good race.
No, he usually gets at least a podium if he wasn't like winning, but I mean, do you remember what position he was in?
Gosh, no. I want to say it was.
Like P8, P9
I
at one
was
point.
yeah, right around. He was definitely top 10, but it was like lower top 10.
Yeah, he was fighting the both the Mercedes throughout the race, and well, we know how that went.
That's a and sorry, I don't want to dog on your boy Russell, but what was
You could
that?
dog him.
What was that?
He
Oh,
was. I've never seen George this like pissed off before in my life, and I think it's because it was like a gradual thing. Like he kept it clean. He kept it on the track on turn one, lap one, and he sees these racers, Max Verstappen, and he sees, I believe, Charles Leclerc, just go off onto the grass and come back on track, and there's no like penalty for them for that. Um, and he sees that and he's like, dude, what the hell? I'm keeping it clean and they're not like getting any penalties for this. And on top of that, he had that happen. And then he was asking repeatedly to his team to give the team order to let George pass. Uh, but by then, like it was like 10 laps later when they finally like allowed him to do that. So his tires were cooked. The elevation in Mexico City is higher than all of the other racetracks. So air has a really hard time getting into the engine because it's a lot thinner. So the engine was overheating and aerodynamics were not working. Just anything that can work wasn't working. And with that in mind, like when Kimmy did give George that position back, like his car was just cooked. It was like on its last breath. It was like
yeah.
and he was really confident that he was going to overtake Ollie Behrman, but when after they gave that team order, it was just too late. And uh, all that fighting against Piastri like kind of amounted to nothing. The whole thing got kind of like bottled. Not gonna lie, and George was not happy. He was. I've never heard that man crash out over the radio that hard. It was honestly really funny.
And then he like you heard him multiple times over the radio like saying like, "Hey, I've got more pace, I've got more race. Like, let me like I will gladly give the position back if I can't overtake Behrman, but let me try. Like, let me do it." And then and they kept telling him like, "Hey man, like listen, your tire temperatures are like you're overheating, like your brake temperature is overheating. You need to chill out." And he's just like, "I literally have a McLaren up my fucking ass. Like I have a superior car up my ass. I can't really afford to slow down." And that's when he got the idea of like, listen, let me give me the position, let me overtake Behrman, and then I can like chill out. And then
Yeah,
he
and he's
just
like, dude, if this doesn't work, I'm happy to give the position back, but I think this can work. I think we have a podium on our hands here.
yeah,
Team just talking amongst themselves too much, and you
yeah.
know, we got what we saw.
I feel like they made that decision way too late. Because he's if anyone is qualified to really speak on things like in the car, it's the driver because they're trained to look for that sort of stuff. They're trained to feel the car. They know what they can and can't do. Right. It is always helpful to have people in like the strategist monitoring all the temperatures from all the sensors and stuff. Right. But at the end of the day, the racer is gonna be probably one of your best calls, unless they're just not a good racer. But like somebody like George Russell, he's gonna be one of your best calls on like, hey, listen, I can push this car further, and if I can't, I'm glad to give the position back. And that's what ended up happening.
Yeah,
He couldn't overtake Behrman, and eventually Piastri ended up overtaking him again, and so he's like, yeah, let me just give the position back. Speaking of
and
Behrman, P4, that came out of
wow,
nowhere.
that came. Not only did that come out of nowhere, but I think Behrman just gave Haas like the best race finish that Haas has had all season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I don't know where they found that pace from. Where did that come from?
Like, and I feel like if the Haas machine was a little bit better and then tire temperatures were a little bit more optimal, he probably could have gotten a podium. Probably.
Well, he held P3 at one point
He did. He held
before Verstappen
P3.
started kicking up.
Yep.
So, Yeah, I mean, I don't know where that pace came from though. Like, because I don't know where Ocon finished exactly, but he didn't finish near where Behrman finished at. So, I mean, that's just kind of like a weird thing. We know that Mexico has some really weird things that happen on that track because of just the elevation and everything that like goes into it.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that's just one of the weird things we got.
I mean, yeah, I guess the Haas machine isn't really optimized for anything else except no air.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. It just does it good, no air.
It no worky when it's supposed to worky, and it worky when it no supposed to worky.
We're Haas. No, literally. Oh my God. So another thing I want to talk about is we had 3 free practices this weekend, and during the first free practice, by regulation, the teams at some point through the season need to let the rookies or their reserves like go into their car and do a practice session. They have to do 2 throughout the whole season.
Okay.
Um, most of the teams just all unanimously decided to let their rookies go in FP1 in Mexico. I'm not sure what the rationale is behind Mexico specifically, but that's what they did. So
Mm-hmm.
we witnessed. I'm not too familiar with a lot of these rookie drivers that they brought into the cars and a lot of these drivers' places.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say they're F2 drivers, but I could be completely wrong about it.
I think they are F2
Um,
drivers.
they're F2 drivers, right?
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Okay. Yeah, they brought the F2 drivers in, and like the most shocking part about that free practice was we watched in the Red Bull seat Arvid Lindblad. He, I think, outpaced Yuki Tsunoda.
I remember you telling me about that. I couldn't catch the free practices or the quality. I was busy this weekend. But I did watch the free practice highlights and then the actual quality highlights just to kind of get an idea. But I remember you telling me about that he did outpace Yuki Tsunoda, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, so that's not looking good for Yuki. We were talking about this last time. We didn't really think that there was a spot, especially me. I was very like adamant on the fact that I do not think they're going to keep Yuki. I don't think he's going back to Racing Bulls V carb. I think they're just going to kick him. And
Yeah,
you know when you see Arvid outperform him in Max's car,
yeah. I
it's
mean, we've said that's
if the
only
shoe fits.
like we've said that's a piece of shit. Only Max Verstappen can drive. Apparently not. Apparently some rookie can drive it too.
Clearly, and it was the exact car too. So it could be. I don't know what it was. I really couldn't explain what it was, but you know, we saw the numbers, we saw the results, and Arvid did better. And he's not an F1 driver, so
Yeah,
uh, my guess is Yuki's going on the chopping block. Like this is it for him after this season.
I guess so. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I feel like Yuki kind of is on the way out, right? He hasn't really been performing well ever since he got to Red Bull. Um, he's really only been there as a second car for Max. You know, just because the team had to have 2 drivers. So, and then we were talking about this, a couple episodes ago that Red Bull is kind of just going to be the meat grinder, the conveyor belt of second drivers while Max Verstappen shines because they already have their golden boy, right? Why would they take a
Yeah,
chance on a rookie except for it to be just the second driver and not like an actual star? Now, if you said Lindblad was his name,
yeah. His name is Arvid Lindblad, which an interesting one,
yeah,
but that's his name. I think he's from the UK.
I feel like if Lindblad can really perform, um, Red Bull might pick him up, and then we could possibly have like a dynasty on our hands.
Yeah, because if you have Lindblad doing consistent good lap times across the season, if he gets put into Red Bull, and obviously Max being Max, doing what he does, right? When you put them together like that, I mean, they could be really dominant next season. Especially if they're able to get Lindblad in a position to where he can get podiums with Max. I mean, it's going to be like another chest stopping situation.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
So that'll be exciting if that's what they do for sure. Um, yeah, is there anything else that you want to talk about for like the Mexico Grand Prix? I think we covered it all, right?
I mean, Leclerc, second. Actually, you know what's really funny is the podium this week was the same podium as last week, except P2 and P3 were switched.
Oh yeah, that's
No,
right. Yeah, we had the same top three drivers, but they were just in different positions. Instead of Max being P1, he was P3. Leclerc, P3 to P2.
And then Norris,
Leclerc, P2 to P1.
P2 to P1. Yeah.
They kind of like rotate.
I thought that was hilarious. I was just like, ain't no way we have the same podium as last time, just different positions, because that's really funny.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. They seem to be doing consistently well, the three of them. You'll have outliers, like you'll have somebody like kind of creep up into the podium, like George Russell sometimes, but for the most part, it's just really been them. It was Piastri at the beginning of this year, but he's just not. Something happened with.
It really has just been Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen podiums this season.
Yeah, we kind of swapped Piastri for Leclerc. I don't know if Piastri's going to climb his way back up. He's lost the championship lead by a point compared to Lando, so that sucks for him. He doesn't seem too bothered by it though.
I don't, because I mean he's only down by a point. Like in the grand scheme of things, he's only down by a point. He can, if he has a couple of good weekends, he can bring that back. The big worry is Verstappen gonna take it back, because Verstappen's only 40 points down now. So Verstappen very much has a chance to take the WDC right from under them. But as far as if I was Piastri, I wouldn't be too concerned. I'd be like, man, it's just a bad weekend, because I mean, like I said, he's only 1 point down, right? If he can sneak back up and keep stealing those points from Lando, he can have it in the bag.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be too bothered either. You've by number metrics, you have the fastest machine on the grid this year that he is in, only down by a point. You can make it up quite easily. People are predicting that in the Brazilian GP, it's going to be a more McLaren dominant race. So we could easily see Oscar maybe take that. Don't know.
I could see that happening.
And that might not be why he's bothered.
Yep, I mean, I could see that happening, and if I was Oscar Piastri, I wouldn't be that bothered either, to be honest. I would be like, okay, like, bad couple of weekends, but we got this. Like, let's get back into it. Let's do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Piastri ended up, in the podium for qualifiers not next week, but the week after. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in the podium for qualifiers in the Brazilian GP. And as far as podium for race finishers, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he sets himself up for success in the Brazilian GP.
Yeah. Well, we can kind of look at the metrics too. And something I want to bring up is that Ferrari and McLaren had very good pace on the straights. Corner pace kind of varied, but they had stronger straight paces. In Brazil, at Interlagos, it does have like a single, like it has like about two straightaways, really, like longer straightaways. But otherwise, it's a lot more of a technical track. So we're really going to have to see how it goes. Brazil is also really prone to rain. So there's going to be.
Yeah.
So it could be pretty exciting in its own way. It's a technical track, and if it starts raining, it's already humid down there. So we're going to have to see how that one goes.
I mean, we're getting towards the end of hurricane season, so really at this point, there is a good possibility for a chance of rain, in which case they're going to have to bring out the intermediates and the wets.
Yeah. I hope it's if it's anything like Silverstone this year, it's going to be absolute cinema because that was like, oh my god, that was such a good race to watch.
I'm so upset that I didn't get into it by Silverstone.
It's okay, you can watch the replay.
I can. I can. I probably will watch it after this, low key.
Yeah, no, you need to watch it because it is absolute cinema. It is crazy. So Brazil is going to be an interesting one. I can't predict how that one's going to go at all. Um, we're just going to have to look and see. And I think we're not really even going to know until like qualifying who's really going to set the pace there
Mm-hmm.
because there's just so many factors that go into it. Like
Yeah,
we don't know if the weather is going to be like clear or if it's going to be raining or not. If it's raining, it's going to be a whole lot different animal. On top of it already being a more technical track, and
absolutely.
it's also a much shorter track too. It's actually a little bit. You can get a lap time that's a little bit down from Mexico. So Mexico lap times usually around like 116 quali time. It's what Lando put out like a 115, 116. When you look at the lap times for Brazil, it is closer to like a 108, maybe like quali lap. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be under 110 for sure. So we're definitely going to see more laps, but the laps themselves are going to be a lot shorter, even shorter than before. So on top of it being like more technical, more turn based, less straights, who knows where
Who
this is going to
knows?
go. Yeah. But definitely excited. That's in 2 weeks' time. We don't have a race coming this week.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. Coming up next after that, we have Vegas. I will personally be there for that, and I'm gonna try to get some content ready for everybody.
Like I said,
Um,
you're gonna, or I was about to say you're gonna be there. You're actually gonna be there, boots on ground. I'm super jealous.
yeah, I got the Caesar's Palace experience, which is supposed to be trackside, but I've heard mixed reviews. So we're gonna see if it sucks. I will tell you guys firsthand if it sucks and not to buy it because this was like the cheapest ticket you could get for the Vegas Grand Prix. So we'll
And I remember
see.
you were telling me because we were playing we were playing a race through Vegas because we were on F1 the video game, and you were like this straightaway right here. I'm gonna be right here, and I'm like, oh, how are you gonna be able to really see? And you're like, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I'm like, bet.
Yeah, I mean, I did some digging and it looks like I can see the race,
Okay, hell
but
yeah.
depends how many people are going to be there. Probably a lot. I don't know. But like I said, if
Probably.
it sucks, you're going to hear it from me first. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to put Caesar's Palace on blast and they can sue me if they want.
Hell
But
yeah. It's that kind of journalism we need on this channel.
that's the kind of motorsport journalism we need, right?
Hell yeah.
So I'm really excited for that. Last year, George Russell, he won the Las Vegas Grand Prix. It is a street circuit, not a road course like Mexico, like Austin, and like what we have in Brazil upcoming. So typically you see drivers kind of excel in one or the other. So you have drivers that excel more in street circuits versus drivers that excel more in like a closed course.
Yeah, like an
So
actual
for
course.
example, yeah. I've noticed George did really good in Singapore, but Lando also did really good in Monaco. Um, that's they both have the Mercedes powertrain, so it might have something to do with that. These road courses are like a little bit more narrow, a little bit more like um, more closed off. Not saying Vegas isn't big; it is big, bigger than Monaco by far, but we could see George maybe get on the podium for Vegas at least. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't
Hmm.
know if he's gonna win though. My prediction is, I think with everything we've been seeing, it's probably gonna go to Norris again because Vegas is super, straights dominant, and that's where the McLaren and the Ferrari have been dominating. So
Ferrari
we're gonna
won two
probably
at Vegas.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know about one, two, but maybe one.
Ferrari won 2 at Vegas.
Give it up for day 15.
Give it up for day 15.
Yeah, that'll be a good one though. That'll be one to watch. It's hard to say when we can wrap this up because everybody's so close in points. It is just like a fight till the very end.
Really, honestly.
After Vegas, we have Qatar and then Abu Dhabi, and then we're done.
Man.
So the next month or so, like we're gonna be wrapping this up, and we're gonna determine who the champion is, which is terrifying. I don't want it to be McLaren.
But then we get to gear up for next season.
Oh yeah, like right now is such a good time to be an F1 fan because we are getting into a really juicy spot for the championship, and it is a constant fight every single race. Everybody is giving it their all. At least the 2 McLarens, Max Verstappen, and even though he's not fighting for the title, Charles Leclerc is doing amazing. He's doing really, really good.
Absolutely.
And my hat's off. Because he's not fighting for a title, but he's still like giving it his all. And he's, since the summer break has ended, he's been kind of getting back up there. Yeah, and I gotta say, like, by the time that we wrap this up and we find who the champion is, we're gonna have brand new cars from scratch. 2026 regulations gonna bring everything out brand new. And we're starting with a clean slate. So if McLaren's dominated this season, they're probably not going to dominate next season. We've had a lengthy discussion about that, but I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited.
My money's still on Cadillac.
Mm-hmm. There's one German brand that my money's on, and I'm wearing it.
Mercedes.
Oh, yeah, Mercedes.
In other news, I did want to transition to this. The hack.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. You're right.
Because, so you were telling me about this, but I didn't really hear anything about it. Like, I heard that there was a hack that happened. I don't really know specifics about it, and I was really interested to talk about this with you because I'm like, I kind of heard it, but I didn't really hear much about it, and if there's anything I'm into besides F1, it's cybersecurity stuff, so I just haven't had time to like look into it. So what happened?
I know a little bit about what happened, but I can't say I'm like an expert on what exactly went down. All I know is that the FIA's database for its drivers got hacked, and you know the people that made these social media posts kind of like outlined specifically that Max Verstappen's passport data got leaked. But it wasn't just Max. It was like, I think all the drivers' data got like leaked or hacked or something. And this was right before like all like the teams flew into Mexico. So this was like right after the Austin Grand Prix. I don't know, like I said, I don't know the specifics about how the database got hacked or what happened, but you know, they didn't even really like talk about it publicly, none of the teams. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but something happened and they're not making statements on it.
They haven't addressed it?
No, I haven't seen one post addressing it besides like news sources.
What?
Pretty crazy, right?
That's actually like insane. Hold on.
First checking it.
Yeah, I'm looking into it now because I gotta know. F1 hack. All right, F1 response to website contains. Blah, blah. Let's see. Security researchers have discovered vulnerabilities in an FIA website which contained sensitive personal information and documents relating to drivers, including Max Verstappen. Ian Carroll said the FIA addressed the vulnerabilities in its systems immediately after he and 2 other researchers contacted them in June. The FIA confirmed the breach and said it had taken steps to secure the driver's data. It has contacted the drivers involved as well as the relevant data protection authorities. The researchers stated that they neither accessed nor retained sensitive information relating to anyone found through the hack and reported its findings to the FIA immediately. The FIA's driver categorization website was compromised through the use of an ordinary user account. The researchers took advantage of vulnerabilities in the system to gain admin privileges. This gave them the ability to access sensitive personal information of any driver they chose. We seem to have full admin access to the FIA driver categorization website, they noted. Let's see. We stopped testing after seeing that it was possible to access. Oh, okay. So what I'm seeing is they didn't get hacked. They found a vulnerability in the system. So
Oh, okay. So
so
basically, it was just a bunch of like clickbait is what we got.
pretty much. So basically, what I just read was instead of malicious actors actually getting in there and getting their hands on this data, what they did was they were testing the site, and they found a vulnerability. Like people on the FIA's side found a vulnerability. That's what it sounds like.
And then they like
And they
spun
contacted
it.
everybody.
Yeah, they spun it and blew it out of proportion. Is basically what I'm getting from this now. Okay, so now we know this is like a crock of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The
there is
researchers.
something else I want.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, so this kind of branches away from the topic. So if you want to talk more about this, we can before
Absolutely.
we move on. But cost cap 2024. I find it really weird that we're talking about the 2024 cost cap when we're about to finish up the 2025 season. I think that's a little late, but nevertheless, it seems like from sources, news sources on like social media and stuff like that, McLaren and unfortunately Mercedes, they are guilty apparently of breaking and going over the cost cap set for the 2024 regulations, which means they could get guilty of, I don't know what exactly the penalty was going to be. I think Aston Martin was found guilty too, and they got like a fine. They got like a $350,000
Yeah,
fine.
but Aston Martin doesn't win races, so
Probably why they just got the fine.
exactly. But
Um,
I could see McLaren getting PP slapped so hard that they might have to give up the constructors championship for that year, and then what would Ferrari would have been appointed as the other, like the new constructor champion for 2024.
yeah, I think so.
I feel like
So
that might happen.
that would be crazy. I don't know why McLaren has just been like so sleazy over like the past few years. Like, where did any of this come from? I can't say. It's probably because Zach Brown. I'm quick to point the finger there, but I think it's true.
You.
um, yeah, I think that's what's been going on, and we're just gonna have to, I guess, wait and see for anything official to come out. But until then, we're just not gonna know if they violated the cost cap or not.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. It's like we really only get what the FIA puts out, and if they find even worse stuff, I doubt they're gonna let it go public, right?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to just see, because I mean, if they did get found guilty of breaching the cost cap, we're gonna find out, and publicly the teams aren't gonna talk about anything that is worse than that, if there is anything worse than that. But
Yeah,
I mean, these news sources have some kind of insider information consistently, and we just keep finding out about this kind of thing. So it's going to come to light either way.
yeah, yeah. It's just, I think that's like, what do you think they spent it on, right? Like, because the cost gap is there to make sure everyone gets a fair shot with the parts they have. Like, do you think they just ordered excess parts? Well, no, actually, no. They wouldn't be able to do that because the part numbers are regulated by the FIA. Like, you can only have a certain amount of power units, a certain amount of front wings, a certain amount of tires, a certain amount of this. So that's regulated by the FIA. So I wonder what you think they spent it in research and development, like more time in the wind tunnel, or more time in the sim?
You know, it's hard to say exactly because, you know, that's a lot of like back end stuff that I can't say I'm super familiar with, but
Yeah,
it could be anything. Like, it could be like salaries, it could be R&D, it could be um, maybe like manufacturing, it could be anything. Like, it's too vague for us to really know like what they spent that money on. But whatever it is,
yeah,
it's not cheap. Because if Aston just got fined $350,000 allegedly.
Yeah,
Uh,
allegedly.
I don't exactly know how far over McLaren went over the cost cap, if they did, and Mercedes, but if they, went over by like a substantial amount, like 350K or more, then, they're at least going to get fined that much and probably penalized.
Dang. Ugh.
So, something to think about, something to watch for the
Definitely
next
something to
coming
think
weeks.
about. I mean, if they've done it before, they might do it again. We'll see. Because 2026 is about to be a volatile season, so we'll see. You know.
Yeah, anybody's game. We don't know how it's going to go next year at all. Um, I gotta ask, who do you think is going to win the championship? Like, who's your prediction at this point?
Genuinely,
Yeah.
not just being meme worthy, not just joking, not just being like, "Oh, Ferrari won too." Like, do you want to know my genuine thoughts?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Ugh. So, if we're looking at straight points and stats, I think Piastri can walk away with it if he locks in, tightens up the shot group, locks in, doubles down. I feel like he does have a genuine shot at walking out with the WDC. Do I want him to win it? Eh. I don't want Lando Norris to win it. That's for sure. But I do think, like, if there is somebody that has the best chance at winning the WDC, in my opinion, it's Oscar Piastri. Second, I would say, unfortunately, Lando Norris, just because he's right there with him in points, and he seems to be doing pretty good. But that can change. And then of course Max Verstappen after that. But honestly, this title fight it's so like it's so hard to tell, and we really probably won't be able to tell for sure until free practice in Abu Dhabi, right?
Right. Here's my thoughts.
Okay.
I think it's going to go differently. Oscar Piastri is weirdly nonchalant lately about where he is. If I was in his position, I'd be a lot more stressed out about my points and my championship standings because I'm in it to win it personally.
Fair.
Like, if I'm in his position, like I'm going to take it as seriously as I can. And from everything I've been seeing on his end, what my gut is telling me is he's too calm to be taking like a serious shot anymore at this championship. That's just what my gut's telling me. My gut is telling me that this is going to be a Lando and Max Verstappen like fight from here on out. That's what this is looking like because Verstappen seems to actually really be wanting to push since the summer break. He's been dominant. He's been giving it his all. Red Bull just gave 4 new upgrades on its car in Mexico. So the team is backing him. The team is clearly hungry for a driver's championship. And I think from McLaren came out and outwardly said too that I think after Mexico, they were going to start legitimately favoring a driver. Whoever the championship leader is, they're going to start favoring them like outwardly. So they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Damn.
And part of me thinks that like they optimized Lando's car because he came out on the radio when he got pole in qualifying and he was straight up like, I don't know how I even did that.
I did. I remember. Yep. I saw that. I saw that in the highlights. He's like, "Oh, even I don't know how I did that," and I'm just like, "Oh, well, you better find out."
Don't you think that's a little weird? A little. And Oscar's like lagging behind in like the lower top 10, not even top 5. It's a little weird. That's a little suspicious to me. So, you could say whatever you want to say about that on its own, but now that they have literally come out and said that they're going to start favoring whoever's leading the championship, now they're just favoring Lando because he is leading the championship by a
Norris
point.
favoritism, right there.
Yeah, right there. So I'm seeing it as Piastri's going to start lagging behind for the rest of the season, And I think Max Verstappen is literally just going to be push, 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 pedal to the metal like he is because he doesn't like losing. And, I think they're going to be optimizing that car the best they can on McLaren's side. And Lando's going to be giving it his all because he wants to win the championship. He seems like he actually wants to win it. Piastri, I'm not getting that from him. Like I said, he's just too nonchalant about this whole thing. And, if it was me, I would be talking to the media and I would be like, I'm stressed out. I don't like where this is headed. I got to do my part to get back up there. He's not doing that. He's not locking in. He's just, letting the wind push him wherever it's going to take him, and it's not a good look for a championship. So between Lando and Max, I think it's going to be a good fight. Who I'm going to stop beating around the bush and just outwardly say might be narrow, but I think Lando might just end up winning it. And it's a tough pill to swallow because I don't want him to win it.
Traitor. You're a traitor.
Dude, I only rep Mercedes Petronas colors, dude. I will never support McLaren. That's on the record, by the way.
That's on the record.
That's on the record.
On the record.
No orange. You'll never see me in orange. If I'm wearing orange, it's not me. But listen, if we look at the facts and figures and what my gut's kind of telling me, you mix it all together, what I think is Lando is probably going to take it, maybe by like a narrow margin. But even though Max is posing this imminent threat, I think Lando's still going to take it because that car's just too damn dominant. And we saw that in Mexico. Like, Max got the fastest lap in free practice 2. Lando took it in FP3, took it in quali. Didn't even know how he did it. He had a 30-second gap ahead of P2 in Mexico. You can't make that up. With the conditions of Mexico, I think McLaren put like 2 upgrades on their car as well, because I think a bunch of different cars got upgrades this weekend. With all that in mind, yeah, I think Lando's going to take it. And I hate to admit it. I don't want to admit it. I hope Max proves me wrong. But right now, after Mexico, that's what it's looking like.
I've got money on Max to take the WDC this year, so.
I'm done betting money.
I'm sorry. So, for those that don't know, Tyler decided he was going to put his rental car money on Max Verstappen to win the Mexico GP this weekend. And, well, we all see how that went. Looks like it's Uber for you, my boy.
No, the funny thing is, too, I didn't even have enough money to cover the rental car either way. So it was literally like a Hail Mary. It was like, well, I still need to like get more money saved up to pay for this thing anyways. So it's either, what I have gets burnt and I start from scratch again, or like I can pay for it finally. But either way, like I wasn't going to be able to pay for it without making that bet. So it was a Hail Mary, and Mary did not get hailed. I don't know.
It did not pan out, sadly.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a break on bets for now until I'm really sure.
If you would have bet him to get a podium, you would have made some money.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the weird thing is, too, it's like I did research at like 5:40 in the morning and like tismed out, and Max's historical win rate in Mexico was like 70%. And, dude, after he got fastest lap in FP2, his win like odds on the betting books went from like 47% win odds to like 60%. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. I'm like a little kid. I'm jumping for joy. And then Lando just snatches it from right under him out of nowhere. And I'm like, you're kidding. You're kidding. And I lost it all.
Lando really said, get Honduras.
Dude, he literally said, you're walking.
You're walking. You're getting your Lamborghinis.
Lamborghinis is crazy word. Dude, yeah, no. So, I mean, I'm going to get the rental car either way. It's not a big deal. I didn't, like, bet my life savings or anything.
I don't
It'll
even
be
know how much you
fine.
bet. I just thought it was funny when you're just like, let's do this, yay, FP2, woohoo, Max Verstappen's gonna win, and then
Let's
this,
go
let's go
gambling.
gambling. Oh
Oh,
dang it!
oh my God. Yeah, no. Bad call on my part. I'll admit it.
And
We
y'all
are
can
both
ask him.
sports
I was
fans.
I was clowning him. I was just like, look, it's the guy who bet his rental car money on a driver who didn't win. I mean,
I literally I was in my bed just like watching that Snapchat you sent me, and I was just like,
don't worry.
I was like,
He's gonna get his lick back if Verstappen doesn't win the WDC. He's gonna get his lick back.
oh yeah, no, I'm getting my lick back next year too, because you're losing that money that you're betting on Cadillac. By the way, for those of you that don't know,
Nah.
we bet money that
I ain't
Caleb
losing.
won. Yeah, you are. So Caleb wanted to bet against me in 2026 that Cadillac, in its first year in F1, was going to win the World Drivers' Championship and Constructors' Championship,
No,
right?
just the constructors.
Okay, so he bet that the Constructors' Championship was going to go to Cadillac. I bet against him because I'm so serious. The levels of copium that you have to smoke to think that Cadillac is winning a constructors championship in their first year, crazy work. And I'm gonna tell them to bring me my money
Bring
because
me my
that's not
money.
happening.
I've explained on this stream and to you personally. I've explained my logic. You know, I've explained it.
It's great. It's just wrong.
We'll see. We'll see. So I bet I bet $50 on DraftKings, right? And the odds are so low that they're gonna win that if they actually do take the constructors championship, the payout's gonna be 12.5K. Yeah, I
You
told you
didn't tell
this.
me that part.
I did tell you that. It's gonna be $12,500 if I win.
Wow.
Because we were talking about this, and because you were like, "That's the stupidest bet you could have made," and I'm just like, "Well, no. The way I see it, everything in life is 50-50. Either it happens or it doesn't." And then you were like, "Caleb, that is the stupidest thing you've ever said in your entire life."
No, it absolutely is. Like the odds are that low for a fucking reason, Caleb.
Listen, I love a good underdog story, and if it pays me $12,000, I'm good.
It's not an underdog story. There's no come up. They're not making it out of the hood. They're staying in Detroit.
No, they're not. They're gonna take the World Constructors Championship. We need a win for America because Haas ain't doing it.
Yeah, Haas is not doing it. I don't know how long they're going to be in the sport, but as far as like an American team goes, like as like an American, I want to root for Haas, but I can't because they suck.
Because they suck.
Like Ollie Behrman was an exception. They like did really weirdly well. He did, but besides that, like I don't even see Haas when I'm watching the race. Like really do anything. The last time, besides Ollie Behrman in Mexico, do you know when I saw Haas? It was in Silverstone when both of them did a 360 spin out in unison. That's the last time I really like saw Haas do anything worth mentioning in F1 this year. It's hard for me to root for them. I don't even know why we started talking about Haas. Oh yeah, Cadillac. Cadillac, I think, is definitely an American team to root for. I feel better rooting for them because there's some big names attached to it.
I mean, Bottas and Checo, dude.
You have Mario Andretti backing them too. I don't know what his role is in it, but yeah, Mario Andretti is involved with Cadillac somehow.
He might be program director. I don't know because he's a famous racer, Mario Andretti. He's a famous racer.
Yeah, he won a world title at some point.
Let me see.
In like the 70s, I think he won like a world title in F1. And he's done other racing series as well.
Mario Andretti, Cadillac F1. It says he's a key advisor for the new Cadillac F1 team. He serves on the board of directors, advising on decisions for the team. So he's on the board of directors for Cadillac F1, which, I mean, if any American knows about F1, it would be Mario Andretti for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. With his guidance, I think Cadillac is definitely going to do well. It's hard to say though, like who's going to be where, because I've only really heard about Mercedes and Audi's power units for 2026, and I haven't really heard about anybody else's
I mean, they're probably keeping
car.
that under wraps for right now. They don't want to give too much away. Is Cadillac making their own power units, or are they getting them from someone?
Don't quote me, but I think they're using Ferrari power units. Don't quote me though.
Looks like I'm losing $100.
I told you to bring me my money. Oh my god, he's walking out. He's walking out.
Shit!
It's so over. It's so over.
Oh,
Yeah, I read
so
somewhere that they weren't using their own power units, that they were going to be using Ferraris, if I'm not mistaken. And like, I could be wrong. It would make sense if they use like a GM motors, but if they're not, dude, and they're using Ferrari power units, we are so fucked.
Tyler, we are so fucked. That's getting clipped. That's definitely getting clipped.
Oh, dude. Yes, I'm making that a clip, just so you know. I'm in charge of all the social media. If you guys didn't know on the podcast, and Caleb's in charge of like the live stream existing right now. I'm the funny haha Gen Z social media guy, so I'm turning that into a clip. You're getting clipped.
Chat, clip that.
Jack, clip that. More like Tyler, clip that, but yeah.
Chat, Tyler, clip that.
I feel like today's podcast has kind of just been like more of a general podcast, because we had like the Mexico GP, and it was worth talking about because we did have some things happen, but it wasn't as juicy as Austin.
It was not as juicy as Austin, that's for sure. What's really funny? I just brought the chat up on my computer because I haven't looked at the chat.
Did we? How does anybody? I
don't think we had anybody send anything in. If they did, it was lost to the void of the internet.
Okay, great. Well, is there anything else F1 that you want to bring up? Maybe.
Actually, I think that's a good wrap to this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that works for me.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Hotlap F1. I'm Caleb. That's Tyler. And we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys. We'll see you later.